Good evening.
Hi, Kate. Good morning to you.
Hi, Tuva. Good to see you.
See you too. I'm just adjusting my background, so just give me a second.
Sure.
Hey, Kate. So I think people are joining in. Let's just wait for another minute and then we can at least start.
Sounds good. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening, Kate and everyone.
Good evening, everybody.
Hi, Tuba. Hi, Kate.
Hi, Jaya.
Hi. Thank you for making time, Kate. And thank you, Tuba, for helping us arrange this.
Sure. Most welcome.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get into the meeting on my system. Just trying
Okay.
this out. Do we want to wait for a few minutes to get started or good?
I think we can wait for a minute. Also, I think I've dropped a message to Team Abhyudaya. If we can make Kate the co-host because she'll have a presentation to share.
Sure, we can do that. Let me just enable that. Abhyudaya, you're there? Abhyudaya?
Looks like I have host powers. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, we can, Kate.
Okay.
So I think we can start. Good evening, everyone. We have with us today Kate, who's our credentialist expert, and will be obviously taking you through the entire credentialing part, like how it looks like, how the examination pattern works. And post her presentation, we can have all the Q&A. So if you guys have any question, you can keep it noted, and we'll have a Q&A session wherein you can learn more about the credential exam. If you have any question, how ICF Credential Exam works. You can ask her about that. I know a lot of people also have confusion about, there has been changes in the credential exam recently. So what are the changes? How does it go ahead? So whatever it is, I mean, you have Kate with you who's going to, guide you on the credential part today. So welcome on board, Kate, and over to you.
Thank you so much, Tuba, and thank you for hosting this presentation on ICF exams. I know that taking an exam can seem intimidating, but I hope with this presentation, I'll help you feel more comfortable and prepared in the exam and what to expect on exam day. So let's get started. To begin, it's important to know that all ICF exams for Credential are offered in a proctored environment. ICF Credentials and Standards is committed to rigor in our standards for credential holders and also for us in the way that we deliver our credentialing services. Standards for certification bodies require secure testing. So what does a proctored testing provide? Proctored testing assures fairness for candidates in the exam process, that the process does not allow some, even a small number, to have an unfair advantage at the test content than others. It preserves the integrity of the exam, but more importantly, it preserves the integrity of the credential for those who work so hard to earn them. As you can see, the development of a high caliber exam is a very involved process, and coaches from across the globe are involved in all stages of the process, from translation to all points in between. ICF exams are for coaches and created by coaches. Let's take a quick look at each exam, reviewing the content and structure, and then we'll spend some time on how to best prepare for the exam and what the testing process looks like. The ACC exam was launched in late 2024 and is designed for ACC candidates at this stage of their career. It assesses a candidate's knowledge of coaching. For the ACC exam, you're provided 90 minutes to take the exam with a 10-minute break halfway through. There are 60 multiple choice questions, and there's only one correct response for each question. The items on the exam are knowledge-based, also known as multiple choice. The ACC exam is offered in 16 languages, and if it's not offered in your language, there is additional language support available. The ACC exam covers 3 broad domains: coaching ethics, definitions and boundaries of coaching, and coaching competencies, strategies, and techniques. Here is a sample question to review. Which of the following represents the most important purpose of silence in coaching? A, to allow a client to process their thoughts. B, to enable the coach and client to hear one another. C, to provide the coach time to think of their next question. Or D, to provide the client time to think of the right response to the coach's question. If you thought the correct answer was A, you are correct. It is to allow a client to process their thoughts. I want to share some resources to help you feel prepared for the ACC exam. The ACC exam is based on the 2019 Core Competencies and 2020 Code of Ethics, so be sure to study those versions. Keep in mind that your individual coaching education, mentor coaching, and coaching experience remain the best preparation. So be sure to set some time aside to review your education materials and the feedback from your mentor coach. On our ACC exam page, there are sample questions available, along with a link to an exam tutorial offered through Pearson VUE. This tutorial allows you to experience the exam system and how to navigate it, so you can go through answering some of the sample questions and reduce test day anxiety. And candidates at the PCC and MCC level are required to pass the ICF Credentialing Exam. This exam assesses knowledge and ability to apply the core competencies, code of ethics, and definition of coaching. The ICF Credentialing Exam is a situational judgment exam. Let's take a closer look at what that means. Coaching as a practice requires professionals to be able to make challenging judgments in the moment to best serve their clients. A situational judgment test provides a manner in which to test an individual's knowledge, abilities, and skills in a realistic coaching context. The test will present you with a realistic situation and a selection of options that are all plausible but not equally effective ways of handling the situation. A situational judgment test is more nuanced than simple right or wrong questions. You will be provided with a 3-hour or 180 minutes to complete the ICF credentialing exam. It's delivered in 2 sections with an optional 10-minute break halfway through. The ICF credentialing exam consists of 78 scenario-based items followed by 4 possible responses. Candidates select the best response and the worst response for the 4 options presented. There's only 1 correct best response and 1 correct worst response for each coaching scenario. Although more than 1 response may represent a reasonable response to the scenario presented, you'll only receive credit for selecting the best possible action or the worst possible action. The ICF credentialing exam is also offered in 16 languages with additional language support available if needed. The ICF credentialing exam covers 4 domains of coaching: foundation, co-creating the relationship, communicating effectively, and cultivating learning and growth. Here's a sample question for review, and you can see immediately, in comparison to the ACC sample question, there's a lot more information to process. Let's go through it together. A university biomedical researcher is working with a coach to improve their interactions with colleagues. The client is a very analytical thinker and can easily explain detailed data points and complex graphs, but seems reluctant to share anything personal with the coach. In previous sessions, the coach encouraged the client to describe how they felt at social events, but the client seems highly uncomfortable, answering only with short, one-word responses. When the client arrives to their session today, the client silently hands the coach a journal. The client has written several detailed entries over the last week about their experience attending a university luncheon, a faculty party, and a staff development workshop since their last session. While the client says little to the coach in the moment, their entries show deep reflections about the anxiety the client experienced at these events and their desire to overcome social anxiety. What should the coach do? A. Acknowledge the reflection work the client has done and ask the client if they feel comfortable exploring some of the emotions they described in their journal. B. Ask the client if they would summarize the entries they detailed in their journal for the coach. C. Ask the client to identify some steps they can take to overcome the anxieties they wrote about. D. Ask the client what new awarenesses they developed about themselves through the journaling process. So in the exam, you would drag the best action to this corresponding box and the worst action to the corresponding box. Let's see what the right answers are. Based only on the information provided in this scenario and in line with the core competencies, the correct best action is A. Acknowledge the reflection work the client has done and ask the client if they feel comfortable exploring some of the emotions they described in their journal. And the correct worst action is C. Ask the client to identify some steps they can take to overcome the anxieties they wrote about. As you look to prepare for the exam, here are some resources available to you. The ICF Credentialing Exams, also based on the 2019 core competencies and 2020 Code of Ethics, so be sure to study those. As with the ACC, your individual education, mentor coaching, and experience remain the best preparation, so make sure you set some time aside to pull the books off your shelf and go over the notes from your mentor coach. The minimum skills requirements are the skills present in PCC and MCC level coaching, so taking a look at those might be helpful. The ICF white paper on referring a client to therapy emphasizes your role as a coach and is a good document to review. And as with the ACC, there are sample questions available on the ICF Credentialing Exam webpage, and there's access to the tutorial through Pearson VUE. And for those that hold a current ACC, PCC, or MCC and want to work with teams, you can consider obtaining the ICF Advanced Certification in Team Coaching, or the ACTC. Those applying for the ACTC will need to pass the ICF Team Coaching Certification exam as part of the application process. This exam is designed to assess candidates' knowledge and ability to apply the team coaching competencies or the ICF core competencies in team coaching contexts. The team coaching exam is a combination of knowledge-based and situational-based items. Let's take a closer look at that. Candidates are provided with 2.5 hours to complete the exam. It's delivered in 2 sections with an optional 10-minute break halfway through. The team coaching certification exam consists of 62 items total. In each section of the exam, there is both knowledge-based and scenario-based items. The team coaching exam is currently offered in 3 languages with additional support available. The team coaching certification exam covers 4 domains of coaching knowledge: foundation, co-creating the relationship, communicating effectively, and cultivating learning and growth. And as you get ready for the team coaching certification exam, here's some ways to prepare. First, study the team coaching competencies thoroughly. These are the foundation of the exam and for your future practice as a team coach. There's also a walkthrough video on the team coaching competencies. This video provides helpful insights and context that bring the competencies to life. Be sure to review the 2020 Code of Ethics. Ethical practice is a core part of coaching, and this document outlines the standards we're expected to uphold. Again, surprise, surprise, spend time with the content and materials from your program. This is the best way to prepare. There are also sample questions available on the Team Coaching Certification Exam page. These will give you a sense of the format and the types of questions you'll encounter. And there's also the tutorial for the Team Coaching Certification Exam, so you can get familiar with the flow. One of the biggest areas that give candidates concern is on what to expect during the testing process. So let's walk through the steps from start to finish. The process for the exam begins with your application for a credential. In the application section, there is an exam section. In that section, you'll need to enter your legal first and last name exactly how it appears on the ID that you'll be using to check in for the exam. If the name you enter is not a match to your ID, you won't be able to check in on exam day, so it's very important that your name's an exact match, and if it's not, please reach out to support before your exam appointment. In addition, if you need to request an accommodation for a documented disability, you will need to indicate that in your application so that we can send you the instructions on how to submit the request. Once your application's been submitted, you can turn your attention to the next steps. If you requested an accommodation, complete the paperwork and submit it as directed with any needed additional documentation. If you need any language support, be sure to fill out the language support form as well. Second, do the research to find a testing center in your area so you can plan accordingly for the time that will be involved getting there. If a testing center is not easily accessible, you can consider taking the exam online through Pearson OnView. We'll cover some considerations for taking the exam online in just a bit. Finally, once you receive your email notice from us that you have been authorized to take the exam, you'll need to schedule your appointment with detailed information, and detailed information on how to schedule your appointment will be included in the email we send you. Before exam day, you're going to make sure that you have your ID on hand for check-in. Take the time to review the Pearson VUE frequently asked questions so that you feel prepared for the process. If testing at a testing center, there is a what to expect video for review. And if testing online, there are a multitude of resources to review to ensure that you're ready. In addition, make sure that you run a systems check to test your computer and internet for compatibility. This is very important. On exam day, be well rested and have a snack or meal prior to the exam so that you can focus fully while taking it. If you're traveling to a testing center, allow for plenty of time for potential traffic issues. If taking the exam online, take time well before your exam appointment to ensure your testing space is in compliance with all rules and policies. Make sure you have your ID on hand and check in 30 minutes prior to your scheduled exam time. Read all test instructions and rules thoroughly so you feel confident in proceeding with the exam. And take your time. Know that each section in the test, you can flag questions that you'd like to return to. Just note that questions flagged in section 1 must be reviewed and completed before you move on to the next section. You can't return between sections. We also recognize that the delivery of the exam through online live remote proctoring is a fairly new and different experience. So let's talk about some things to take in consideration. While live proctoring offers candidates the opportunity to complete the ICF exam from their home or office, it is really important for candidates to be aware of the technical requirements for online proctored exams and to prepare for the exam appointment in advance. This is a guide from Pearson VUE that walks through each stage of the remote proctored testing process, including preparations that are critical to complete prior to your appointment, as well as what to expect during your appointment. There are so many dynamics and factors at play when you're testing from home. From software applications on the candidate's system to connectivity issues that could impact the exam delivery. Even when all the preparations are taken in advance, there are still factors that could impact your exam experience. This guide also provides candidates with the information on how to contact Pearson VUE should something arise during their appointment. And we are also here to help you with any issues that arise during your exam. But for these reasons, many people choose to complete the exam at a testing center where these unique technical challenges of online testing are not a factor. We partner with Pearson VUE in part because they are among the few testing vendors that provide global testing services, with centers available around the world. If you do have trouble locating an in-person testing center, we encourage you to reach out to our support team so we can work with Pearson VUE to identify and locate a third-party testing center to support you. Now let's take a moment to cover how the exam is scored, the pass rate, and what your options are if you do not pass the exam the first time. All ICF exam passing scores are developed in alignment with the best practices for certification programs. Your score is determined by the correct answers you choose, and you are not penalized for the wrong answers. The passing score for all of our exams are reported as scaled scores. The range of possible scores is 200 to 600, and the passing score is 460. You can find the pass rates for each exam on our website on their individual exam information pages. We update them yearly. The latest update is for 2024 test takers. For the ACC exam, we have limited data to share as the exam was released in November 2024. However, of those that took the ACC exam in 2024, you can see there's an 82% pass rate on the first attempt. And when factoring in those who pass the exam on the second attempt, it rises to 84%. The ICF Credentialing Exam in 2024 had a 77% pass rate, with a total of 92% when you factor in those who pass on the second retake. And for the team coaching certification exam, we have a 90% pass rate for the first attempt, with a total pass rate of 97%. If you do not pass the exam on the first attempt, you can retake the exam. Each exam retake fee is $105 US, and you do not need to apply for your credential all over again. You'll just pay the retake fee. You can retake the exam for the first time 14 days after your first attempt. If you do not pass the first retake of the exam, then you have to wait 30 days before you can take it again. This time is just provided so that you have the opportunity to reflect on your exam experience and continue in your studies. And you can retake the exam up to 6 times within a year of when you initially sat for the exam. After another year, you'll have 6 additional retake attempts. This is very rare, but I share it with you so you know there's a policy in place to support you. As you may recall, the current exams are based on the previous versions of the core competencies and code of ethics, and we just released new versions of the core competencies and code of ethics. With these updates being released and schools integrating these updates into their curriculum, ICF will also be updating the exams for Credential. We are preparing to launch a pilot version of the ICF Credentialing Exam for the PCC and MCC candidates to be available November 17th next month. PCC and MCC candidates who are eligible to take the exam will have the option to take the current version of the exam or to participate in the pilot version. Participation by actual candidates for a credential is a very crucial step in creating any new exam. Individuals who are able to participate make a powerful contribution to the coaching profession. The pilot testing allows us to verify which questions perform well and can be used in the final version of the exam. So if you're considering submitting your PCC or MCC application in the near future, you'll learn more about this opportunity once your application continues through the review process. Also, in 2026, we're going to release a pilot version of the ACC exam based on the 2025 core competencies and code of ethics. I also want to share that this credentialing exam pilot is going to be a combination of situational judgment items and multiple choice items. Right now, the ICF credentialing exam is currently 78 situational judgment items, so know that the format will be changing. Also hot off the press is that ICF Coaching Body of Knowledge has been released for pre-order. It will be released during October, during Converge, so the end of October. This coaching body of knowledge publication serves as a comprehensive professional development companion throughout your entire coaching journey. This definitive reference guide offers a continuous learning framework for the global coaching community that evolves with the profession. The body of knowledge also provided the foundation for study systems to be created for the ACC exam and the ICF credentialing exam. The study system includes a pretest, reading modules, practice quizzes, and a practice exam. It is important to note that the study systems were created independently of ICF credentials and standards. This separation between credentials and standards and ICF learning and development is to maintain the integrity and validity of the exams. The exams are created in a manner in which no study aid or resource can guarantee a passing score, but this might be a helpful resource for you as you prepare for the exams. And thank you for listening to my presentation on the ICF exams. I hope you feel more confident in the steps that are involved and confident in the way you can prepare for a successful exam experience. If you find you have additional questions after this webinar, or if you need support in completing your application for a credential, or have a question on the process or any of the requirements, please don't hesitate to reach out to the support team. But now that we've covered a range of information on the exams, I'm happy to take any questions and offer any clarification that you need.
I think Karan has a question. He's raised his hand.
Yes, Karan.
Kate, thank you for your presentation. Really appreciate this. I was just going through the preparations required for the ACC exam as I have mine scheduled for the end of this month. And when I go to the the ICF ACC page, and of course you mentioned that the requirement for the core competencies there is to study the 2019 version. Now you click on the link which is given there. You're redirected to a page which has videos as part of the YouTube channel, I think. Now, when you
Okay.
look at those videos, it says videos updated 2025. So
Okay.
there's a bit of a confusion there, saying that it's a link which says that it's for core competencies for 2019 which need to be studied, and yet when you click on them, you arrive at this bank of videos which says updated 2025. So I'm just curious to know if that updated 2025 is the same set of videos you want the candidate to study, which is supposed to be
Okay.
2019 ones.
Right. I'm sorry about that. Is it the blue button under exam content, study the core competencies?
Yeah, so it's the list of 4 5 things that you mentioned there, and there's a hyperlink next to the core competencies there. I'm not in front of my system right now, so I can't
Oh,
see
it's
that
on
very
my
clearly.
PowerPoint. Oh, okay. That was my fault. I'm sorry. I'll be sure to switch that out before I send the PowerPoint to you all. I'm sorry for the confusion.
No, I was actually referring to the ICF page online on the website.
Okay.
In that page where there is the credentialing requirement given, and it clearly mentions that you need to study 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. The core competencies, there's a hyperlink next to it, and that hyperlink
Mhm.
takes you to a set of videos. So if you can access that page online right now and click on that hyperlink, you'll see
I
that it
see.
goes to a playlist, and the playlist says 2025 updated videos.
I see. The 25 logo on the video is what you're referring
Yeah,
to? Oh,
yes,
okay.
it's 25 logo, and I think it also mentions somewhere updated 2025.
Okay. So I'm seeing these videos are from 2021. But I will be sure to look into that further after this call. And if we need to update that, I'll let our marketing team know. Thank you for bringing that to my attention.
And if this is for 2021, then again there is a disconnect between 2019 and 2021. So I just want to be clear.
I understand how that's confusing. I believe the videos were created in 2021, but they're discussing the 2019 core competencies. Um, but I do
Yeah,
see how that's confusing. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. So yes, you'll want to study the 2019 core competencies for now.
Anyone has
And
any
even
question?
insofar as the ethics, even so far as the ethics are concerned,
Yes,
you're studying the 2021 ethics.
you'll want to study the 2020 Code of Ethics.
Yeah, all right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else has any question? Any kind of question that you want to ask Kate with regards to the credential? Yes, Neera, please feel free.
Kate, hi. So I heard you talk about the Code of Ethics 2025 exam that needs to be taken for the ICF Credentialing Exam for PCC and MCC. Is that correct? I'm just wanting to confirm.
The pilot exam that we're releasing next month is based on the 2025 Code of Ethics, and participation in the pilot is totally optional. The current exam for the PCC and MCC is based on the 2020 Code of Ethics.
Okay, so the exam will be based on the 2020 Code of Ethics, but do we
Yes.
also need to complete? I remember when the program was done earlier, the Code of Ethics exam that was online was done after attending the Code of Ethics. Is that required for the latest version?
For the
And
ICF
I'm
credentialing, sorry,
please go
are you
ahead.
talking about the ethics video for 3 hours?
That's right. Which used to have an exam at the end of it, right? Do we need to still complete the latest one?
Yes, there is a test at the end of the ethics video, but that's totally separate from ICF credentialing exams.
That's right.
It's more of like a webinar. Yep. Yes,
That's right.
there is a quiz at the end of that one. And that's
That's right.
based,
So,
if you take the 2025 version, yes, there's a quiz about the 2025 Code of Ethics.
okay. I'm looking at them as two separate things, the ICF credentialing exam, and I hear you. The exam's going to be based on the 2020 Code of Ethics, right? I'm
Correct.
also asking that since the Code of Ethics 2025 have been updated, the separate activity of going through the Code of Ethics and an exam or the quiz at the end of it, do we need to make sure we are current on that with the 2025 version before one takes the ICF credentialing exam?
The credentialing exam, you need to be sure you're current on the 2020 Code of Ethics.
All
But
right.
you can study either version of the Code of Ethics for the credentialing exam, really, because they didn't change too much, and the situational judgment format applies to both versions. But specifically, it is created from the 2020 Code of Ethics, so that's why I offered that tip.
All right. Okay. Thank you. That helps.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you. Great question.
Do we have more questions? Any kind of questions on ethics, on credentials?
I just have a question, Kate. Is it okay to upload this recording in our LMS for people to refer again? We find that.
Absolutely, yes.
Good question.
So if no one has a question, I have some announcements for everyone. First of all, I would like to thank all of you all for attending this session. And thank you, Kate, because I know it's an early morning for you. So obviously accommodating all of us, and obviously sharing your insight on the credential exam. So guys, also just want to let you know that, as an ICF member, you get a $150 discount on your credential exam. And as you can also see my background on Zoom, it says ICF with Diwali. So this year we're celebrating ICF Diwali with ICF. And as a part of that, we are offering a 15% discount straight away to all Abhyudaya members who register for ICF membership this month. So if you want to learn more about it and if you want to register, please reach out to Abhyudaya Coaching and register yourself so that they can share a registration with us and we can share the special Diwali code with you.
So there is a question in the chat board. If we are already a member, what do they gain?
If you're already a member, then probably, we can have like a membership benefit session for you sometime in the month of November. But people who are not members, definitely for you, all of you all, it's a great opportunity to register right now because you'll get like a 15% discount for this month.
Okay. Here is a email ID in case you're interested in the offer. Please drop us a note and we will collate it and share it with the ICF Global team for you to gain this benefit. And you'll receive the code basically. That's what we're trying to say.
Yeah.
Great. Do you want to paste the offer on chat, Tiba, so that it's written there or whatever? I mean,
No, we are good with this, Jaya. So you can just announce it to them that they'll be
Yeah.
having like a special 15% discount offer for this month. So
Okay.
they can go and eventually we will be sharing by next week the details, emails and everything with you.
All right. But I really want to say thank you to you and Kate to make time for Abhyudaya community and giving us this exclusive discount. And we will keep coming back to you for support.
Definitely. Looking forward to that.
Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for attending. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.